Hi everybody.
Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of
Enlightenment Trust. When are we going to get this in sync?
I'm so sorry, I missed a cue.
It's okay. But welcome to Enlightenment Trust. We're recording after a long time.
Yeah, this is episode number
18.
Wow,
18. Dude, I
You remember?
I remember.
Nice.
We've done 7 already in season 2. This is our 8th
Eighth.
one for season 2 and our 18th in total.
Yeah.
Look at us talking about different topics. 18th. Lovely.
So we have that many things to talk about, guys.
No, we have a million things to talk about.
Yes.
Everything doesn't come on camera.
True. I mean, we don't need to put that out in the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But this was, I think, what we've planned for today and the next podcast are difficult, serious topics.
Yes.
But we've been discussing it anyway off camera, so let's.
Yeah,
shoot.
I think the title of this episode is still under review.
But the theme is
Let's say it.
Loneliness.
It's loneliness. We are going to talk about loneliness and what it actually means and what are some myths around it. What do we advise and what do we not preach, but what do we do for ourselves?
Yeah, and what do we feel about?
Yeah. We can sit. We can sit behind. Yeah. Why are you feeling uncomfortable?
Are you feeling uncomfortable? Am I feeling? I don't know.
No, you're fine.
I think the topic itself is a little heavy for me, but because I address this a lot
during
in therapy also, but I think let's go for it.
I do have a personal experience, a lived experience with this topic. I went through times when I was confused and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why I was feeling this way. So the first question that I would like to ask you, coming from a point of view where people don't understand the difference between a few terms such as loneliness, being alone, isolation, and solitude.
Okay.
So these are 4 terms that are, I think, being used interchangeably, and that's not the correct approach. And when I went through my lived experience, I had to do my own research. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. First of all, not just you, Akshay. I think all of us go through loneliness or are playing with these terms or moving around these terms of solitude, loneliness, being alone, or isolation. Okay. To the best of my understanding and the work that I do, I will try and sort of define it or categorize these things. I would say being alone is it's more it's a physical entity sort of thing where I may be alone in an experience or I may be alone
In a
going
space.
somewhere or in a space. Loneliness is more mental.
Okay.
Right? It's a state of mind. And also I believe that loneliness is a seesaw. It's a yin and yang where too much of it can be very scary and then moves us towards isolation. Where it becomes painful, there's suffering, there's probably anger towards society or the self and the world. But some loneliness is absolutely essential to answer some of the most existential questions we have in life or trying to understand ourselves better.
Solitude.
Which brings us to solitude, right? Because then you start enjoying that liberation that you feel. Then you start enjoying your own company or the freedom, okay? So if to just summarize this again, I think being alone is more, it's a physical,
Okay.
I don't know, physical form or it's just a physical thing, okay? That it's an experience, physical experience, I would say. Loneliness is an absolutely essential experience and emotion of life, and we all of us go in this continuum of loneliness, and on one end is isolation,
Okay.
and in one end is solitude,
Understood.
okay? And I don't think, although it's an epidemic today, I believe a lot of us feel very lonely for long periods of time, and we'll talk about it again also.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can exist without feeling some kinds of loneliness and some bits of loneliness.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense. So when I was alone in the US. I was living by myself. I didn't have roommates, whereas many of my friends were living with roommates.
Yeah.
We had to isolate for the epidemic and pandemic, and we didn't have people around us. We didn't see a lot of we didn't have human interaction for a really long time. So obviously I had to figure it out by myself, right? Because I couldn't lean on either people in India or my friends there, because we were actually being isolated because of COVID,
Absolutely,
right? COVID-19.
absolutely.
And so that's when I realized that I needed to find my way out of it by either finding a rhythm or a routine or something that makes me feel good, to make it into a solitude,
Yeah.
something into that nature, right?
Yeah. And also, let's not forget social connection.
Yeah.
So I think loneliness, the beautiful part is solitude, and the more
Right.
difficult part is isolation.
Isolation.
But also, social connection has its own role to play in our life.
Exactly. And that continuum I kept like trying to figure out. So there were some days I was really happy. I was like, okay, I love my me time. I have my own routine. I'm going to work out. I'm having a movement. So I still remember this feeling. Okay, I had a moment. I went for I think a yoga class or a Pilates class. I don't even remember that class, but I had to come back home, catch a metro or a bus, but I chose to walk, and it was a good 1 hour walk, and it was a fall day, so it was like chilly. But I had my headphones on and I was listening to like some dark, slow music, but I was in my movement. When I came home, I felt refreshed. I don't know if it was the yoga class or the walk, but I felt so good. And that's when I realized that, that time that I spent coming back home, listening to my music, being in my own space, being in a safe space while walking home, made me feel so rejuvenated that I understood that there is a difference, and I can push myself into being in that space of the continuum. So what I'm trying to say is I figured it out. And I have this line, right? And this could be the key line for this question, that you can be alone without feeling lonely, and you can feel lonely in a crowded room.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I think that this is something we need to talk about.
Fully agree, because see, and this is what I think in my own reflections, and when I'm talking to family, friends, and even in client work, is keep a check on your social battery. It's very real. So like we say, no, Akshay, any mental health condition or any mental health experience will have a physical manifestation, and even loneliness does, right? So when you're moving towards solitude, or you're starting to enjoy parts of yourself, or sometimes even sitting with darker parts of yourself in loneliness or in despair, there will be times when you're enjoying it, you become comfortable with those parts,
Exactly.
right? But there will be times when you want to socially connect.
Yes, 100%.
Or the other end of that is sometimes when we are connecting with too many people, and a lot of us and a lot of younger people say this, the social battery is draining. And so I tell a lot of us people, please keep a check on that. Ask yourself, pause and say, listen, how am I feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? How drained or exhausted am I feeling? Am I socializing too much today? Do I need to catch a break, right? Because both social connection is super important. Loneliness and spending time by yourself is important.
100%.
And your body will give you signs when you're either too socially exhausted, or when you're too isolated. Your body will give you signs, your chest pains.
It's funny, I have to share this.
Please.
I agree with you 100%. And I have only recently realized this, right? Because I have a lot of energy when I'm around people. So my energy is recharged when I talk to people. I'm a complete extroverted person. And I derive energy from people. We were on a road trip with my friends and I, driving almost 10 hours towards a certain city. And by the 8th hour, one of our friend was like, "Meri bus ho gayi hai." Okay. And he was like, "I am done." And I was like, what do you mean done? We still have 2 hours to go. We still have to drive to the hotel. Like, you can't be just done, right? Like, it's not something we can just switch off. You are still in a social context. And I was pissed. I was like, this is not happening. Like, you can't say that. But now I understand it. Now I do. And I myself sometimes come up and say, I'm done. Like, I want to go home. I don't want to
Yeah,
be here.
yeah.
Even though I love the people I'm around, I sometimes just want to go and hit the bed. Maybe because it's
Yeah.
also different stressors in our life make draining us. But I am now very conscious of where I pay or divide
Where
my
that social battery is
yeah.
used.
Divide my social energy in,
Yeah.
and I pay attention to only the factors or the space where I feel good. Wherever I even have the slightest feeling that it's draining, I just step out of it.
At least we should become aware of
Aware,
it.
yeah. That awareness is still lacking, I'm telling you now. Like, I don't think I'm there yet. I still need to figure it out. I still push myself, but I need to be better, and I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
So,
But can I this
Yes.
that for me also, I'm aware of both things. When I'm very introspective and I'm very pensive, I catch myself feeling very drained sometimes, because I'm like, okay, you've gone overboard in just spending time with yourself and reflecting on life's questions and being very existential. And now Malvika, snap out of it.
Yes.
And then I need to go for a walk and
Yeah.
if not interact with people, at least see people.
yeah. Yes.
And on the other end, even when I'm socializing, I catch myself like, okay, Malvika, your throat is drying, your body is spinning, your head is spinning, your chest is feeling heavy, which are again
Yes.
physical signs of just social battery, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, Malvika, the next 2 days spend some time at home, just be a
Yeah.
homebody, you
Yes.
know. So the body does give signs.
Yes. And in those lines, this is what I want to ask, which is also a two-part question. Is it true that loneliness is physical and not just in your head? Now, I want to understand it from a perspective of also which you have tapped on, is what is a modern day take on loneliness, right?
Yeah. It is physical. I think it as physical as it affecting your nervous system, it's as physical as that, because when loneliness it feels like not coming out of choice. It can make you feel drained, exhausted. It can make you cry a lot. No judgments again. Like I said, we all have to sit with some of this loneliness, but it makes your body ache. It makes you crave. It affects your pulse. It affects your heart rate.
Wow.
Which is why even in therapeutic work, we tell clients that both are important.
Yes.
Socializing and social connection, not socializing, but social connection, whether it's 2 people or 3 people. And also spending time apart. Right? Because these things can be actually very chronically bad for you in terms of physical health.
Okay.
And the opposite is also true. So when you're actually enjoying your solitude, your body starts feeling good. You breathe better.
Right.
Your shoulders, even the posture in which you sit, and look at it even when you're socializing.
Yes.
When you're with the right kind of people, your body responds differently. And when you're with a group of people who's not making you feel very psychologically safe, I think your body just droops.
Yes.
You feel anxious. You perspire. The body temperature changes. So everything about loneliness and social battery is very physical.
Wow. Okay.
And the more we are aware of it, and the more we can talk about it in social systems and spaces, I think we'll also be very welcoming of people. And like your friend said, no, in that journey, he said, "Abhi bus ho gaya." Like, it's enough. I think that was so brave of him to say that, and it was also nice of you as a group to be like, yeah, let's respect that.
I mean, honestly, I didn't. I was being, I was being bad, and I was like, don't be a bee, and just get over it.
Yeah, I think we're all allowed to make mistakes. Where it's okay.
Also, listen, at that moment, I knew there was. See, even though he was done, we were not there yet. We were not at our destination. And I was like, you are not allowed to be done because we haven't reached. And so I was reacting because I was done too. And I had to push myself. And I was expecting him to do so too.
Yeah.
But again, expectations, and that's a different topic. But
so cool of him and courageous of him to be like, listen, but even though there may be peer pressure or social conformity, I want to just...
No, but I respect him today. I understand him. I hope he watches and he realizes that I was, being bad at the time, and I understand it, and I apologize for being like that. But honestly, I do think that today I understand where he was coming from. I can look back and
Yeah.
go through that situation and realize that I could have said something differently. But anyhow,
But can I answer something more to the whole in today's context? Like you
Yes.
said, I feel like in today's context, especially with social media, everybody wants to be seen with everybody, and so that
Yeah.
social battery is taken for a ride.
Right.
And I think it's very imperative, especially for the younger generation who's watching, to understand that when I'm saying continuously that some parts of loneliness are important to sit with and reflect, because life's questions of, what do I want
Yeah.
actually? What are my values? What do I stand for? What is giving me joy? What is giving me peace? What do I feel like doing? What do I not feel like doing? What is my relationship with XYZ? A lot of these questions, it's introspection.
Introspection,
So it comes
correct.
only when we are alone. So some
Yes.
parts of it, it's important for us to do. So let's not run away from loneliness.
Yes.
At the same time, let's not run away from social connections.
Yes.
Just constantly be aware of. And like I said, if the body is giving us signs, be aware of it.
Yeah, and
Helps.
I completely agree. I have had the lived experience, which I want to point out really quick. I've had physical signs. I haven't slept in
Thank you.
days when I felt the worst. And I used to not sleep. I still had work in the morning. I was not meeting anyone because this was a remote job. I was sitting at home and doing my work and then going back to bed, but I was never sleeping. I was exhausted all day. That's when I was like, okay, this is getting out of hands. Either I need to either go out just for a walk. So then I would go log out exactly at 5, leave at 5:01, go for a run or a walk. And then slowly I started incorporating like a proper fitness routine or a class. Then I started engaging with people. That's when I realized that I needed an outlet. And so I used that outlet, and this was a fitness class that needed a higher intensity workout, or had high intensity workout routines, where I could just explode in that moment and release all my energy. So I think that's when my story flipped. So I know that there is a physical connection.
But yeah, absolutely, like sleep, food,
Yes, food.
energy, mood.
I wasn't eating before. I was eating junk. I would eat Maggie most days. I would eat coffee and biscuit. That's it for like the whole afternoon until the evening, where I would force myself to eat either like very basic dal rice or khichdi, or like very boring food. So there was no spark in my food either. I mean the whole gamut.
Thank you for sharing your lived experience.
Yeah,
Akshaya.
no, I'm telling you, it was insane. So that's when I started working out, I now had a craving to eat something nice. But this nice was always healthy food because I was working out. So I never had a craving for fried food or chocolates or any like unhealthy food. I always had a craving for salads. I had a craving for acai bowls, smoothies, because you're worked out, you want something refreshing, right? So, and there was thankfully an acai spot right next to the workout studio. And I would always get acai bowls, and I got addicted to acai bowls, which are healthy. So whatever it was, I mean, I enjoyed that time because.
No, but you're pointing out something very beautiful. When you change one spoke in the wheel, it's like a domino effect.
Yeah,
So
everything fell into place. Everything fell into perspective for me internally. I realized that I needed outlets. Like, for example, going to Al-Seef is an outlet, right? You need.
I go to Al-Seef for walks, everybody. It's a running joke in my Dubai film.
But honestly, I realized that is required.
Yeah,
we
because
all
my
need to find
field
it.
is such. No, Akshay, I'm working from home. There's a lot of alone time. So and then you get sucked into it. It's very easy for me to just then become a couch potato.
Yes,
But then I tell myself, no, go out there.
No, but this is literally what I noted down, right? Remote work and mobility. People move more, stay less rooted. So if we are in a space of digitalization where we all are working from home and never getting out of the house, we are going to lose that social connection.
Very true.
and that's going to impact
Very
the whole
true.
your physical rhythmic state.
And you see, that's a big mental health epidemic today, because
Yes.
a lot of us are working from home, and I think that there are lots of pros to this hybrid working
Yeah.
and remote working and all, but what it does, it reduces our human connections to a mobile phone or a
Yes.
laptop.
Yes.
And so are we truly socializing, and then are we even truly spending time with ourselves? No, because then we're doom scrolling. Or,
Yes.
well, all of that needs to find its place. I also feel spending time with social connections, please try and meet people physically.
Yes.
And spending time with loneliness is actually sitting alone and being with one's breath and thoughts and feelings.
Love it. Yes, I love this difference, and
It's such a yin and yang of
yes,
life.
I mean,
Both are important.
yeah, I love it. I appreciate that we are talking about it. Last thing before we move on to the last question, that hyper independence culture and individualism is, I think it's also a social cultural aspect that we need to consider.
Very
So
good point.
if someone is living in a hyper independent culture state like the US, or
Even Dubai is very individualistic.
Yeah, so if you're living in an individualistic culture, you tend to be first alone in most places, and you face loneliness very quick.
Yeah.
Especially for people who have not assimilated and who are coming from collectivistic culture. So
Yeah.
again, we can talk about this more at length if you want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And comment if you do.
Absolutely, because it's-
yes, but I've gone through it, I've understood it, and I was someone who loved the idea of being independent and hyper independence and the culture itself. But I'm telling you, it is not something you can just take lightly and take
Yeah,
it easy.
yeah.
It's something you have to proactively figure out and assimilate it.
And if you reflect, you need to keep reflecting so that you figure out, when are you
100%.
moving towards one end of the spectrum, or
100%.
just
100%.
too much individualism is happening, or too much
100%.
collectivism.
Okay, so last question. One is a suggestion and advice. I obviously think we should provide some kind of an advice or suggestion, but also some myths about loneliness that we need to debunk.
I'll go with the myths first.
Yes.
Loneliness happens to old people. Loneliness is only bad for you. Loneliness means you're boring. I think all of these are myths.
If you're with a crowd or if you have people around you, you can't be
Lonely, absolutely. I think loneliness is a personal experience and a journey, and it's nothing to do with age. A lot of us, irrespective of, even children in school can experience and will
Yeah.
experience loneliness and isolation and also solitude. To answer the second part, which is advice, I would say a lot of us need to, and this is not an individualistic advice, but for collective, so like groups of friends, family, look at loneliness as an experience that is a very human experience. Let's try and reduce stigma around it. So when people or our friends or our colleagues or family members are saying, listen, I need some downtime, that's okay. Please, let's invite people to be like themselves. And if people want to connect and they ask for individual conversations or smaller group conversations depending on their social battery, again, I think let's be very open to those ideas. Reflect on the kind of peer pressure we put on each other. That helps to take care of loneliness. And from an individual level, something that I do is I do a lot of self-talk. It comes up with a number of podcast episodes. So one easy thing that I can tell you guys is, use a scale, okay, like a scale on 1 to 5, and check in with yourself. So let's say 1 being low and 5 being high. Asking yourself, okay, Malvika, on a scale of 1 to 5, how lonely are you feeling? Okay, and if it's something above 4, 3.54, then ask yourself, okay, do you want to socialize or do you want to connect with somebody over a phone call or a coffee, or you want to meet somebody or go for a walk? At the same time, asking yourself on that same scale, how much of a social battery do you have when you're, let's say, around a lot of people, or even when they're close people, friends, family? And if the answer is, again, my social battery is hitting like a 3.54 and I can't take it anymore, then make some change. I think checking in with yourself, reflecting, and then behavior according to that
Love it.
helps. And for everything else, then talk to people,
Yeah.
safe spaces, and if it keeps bothering you at a larger level, talk to a therapist.
Therapist. Yes, I agree. I think those are really good advices. And one thing that I want to say is, in a superficial world that we are living in, at least seek one meaningful connection. One.
It changed my life when I met you in Dubai.
That's
Akshaya.
all you need. That's all you need, because I mean, you can find support by being around people. I was just thinking about something that I think in Japan or in Korea somewhere, you can hire people to be with you all day.
Yes, Japan, I heard this.
Yes, and again, that's amazing. If that's something you need, seek it, get it. There are people you can hire just to hug you as well. But just one meaningful connection can change everything. And see, I think the world is, there are people in the world who would want to be genuinely interested in you, help you. Not everyone is selfish. So seek that one person. And I think that's my advice. And I've realized where I need to draw the line, or where my social battery is draining.
Yeah, and I think quality over quantity. For
Yeah,
me with
yeah,
Akshaya
definitely.
is quality. And I think as you get older, you realize. that.
Yes.
And look at us just on the eve of Valentine's Day talking about Galentine's
Oh my God.
social connection. But it's so true.
Yes.
Thank you, Akshaya. This was what a podcast
I loved
episode.
it. I loved it. I mean, I think I wasn't going to contribute a lot, but
Look at you, but you've given some fab, very important points.
I realized that
Thank you.
my lived experience.
But lived experience is everything, even in therapy.
Yeah.
And now a lot of therapists are talking about this. It's not only research, it's lived experience.
Yes, 100%.
All our lived experience is very relevant. So thank
and
you.
the essence of it. Yes,
And the essence.
I appreciate you for this space. I think our meaningful connection helped me from being alone.
Oh
here
yeah,
and
we are all
facing loneliness.
Yeah, absolutely, we are all oscillating
Yes.
from social connections to loneliness, but a
Yes.
good social connection
Yes.
bloody helps.
I love this. Thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
Hope you stay for our other episodes. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Comment down for more.
Share with your friends.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe.
We need
everything.
to talk about this more. So comment if you like it, if you need us to talk about something specific, and be back for the next episode.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Bye.